Picture an emerald dot adrift in a sapphire ocean. An island so wind-polished it seems sculpted by the gods. Aruba, 20 miles long, 6 miles wide, and yet brimming with more legends than nations 100 times its size. But forget the glossy brochures. Tonight we rip open paradise and step straight into the wild heart that beats beneath the postcard. We'll dive to a ghost ship swallowed by war, squeeze through caverns where ancient Arawak spirits still paint the walls, and stand in a natural pool hammered into volcanic rock by hurricanes and lightning. By the time the final credits roll, you'll know why explorers once called Aruba or Aruba Island of Gold. Yet pirates whispered another name, the land that outsmarted the sea. Buckle in, Globetrotters. This isn't a travel guide, it's a treasure map. And the X, it's everywhere. Smash cut into theme music. Fade to first location with the roar of the trade winds. 1. Eagle Beach, where the sand sings. I step onto a ribbon of sand so white it hurts the eyes. The grains are coral powder, milled for millennia by pounding surf and parrotfish jaws. Aruba's trade winds roar at my back, sculpting the iconic divvy-divvy trees that lean like dancers forever frozen mid-bow. This is Eagle Beach, ranked among the world's top beaches year after year, yet it hides a sonic secret. Put your ear to the ground at dawn and you'll hear the beach sing. The trick? Ultra-fine sand plus steady wind equals a faint, flute-like whistle, the island's natural lullaby. Locals swear it's the ghost of a Kakatiyo princess who watched her lover sail away, her sigh still tangled in the dunes. Tourists flock here for sunset champagne and sea turtle hatchlings scuttling to safety, but pause and you'll feel something deeper. A hush between waves, like the island itself is holding its breath, waiting to tell its next tale. And that tale begins underwater. To the Antilla wreck, Germany's lost Leviathan. Descend 30 feet in history towers above you. SS Antilla, a 400-foot German freighter scuttled in 1940 to prevent Allied capture. Her steel ribs bloom with brain coral. Her propeller is a cathedral bell for parrotfish. Swim through her cavernous hold, and you'll spot an antique bathtub still bolted to the floor, algae-stained but eerily pristine. Legend claims the captain stayed aboard as the crew abandoned ship, torching engine rooms until rivets screamed. In the final seconds, he raised a beer stein and shouted, "We're sinking, aber wir kapitulieren nie." We sink, but we never surrender. Some divers insist they can still hear that toast echo through the corridors. Today, the Antilla is both reef and time capsule. Moray eels lurk where Nazi officers once smoked cigarettes. Reef sharks patrol the promenade deck like ghostly sentinels. It's the Caribbean's largest accessible wreck, but slip through a hatch and it becomes a portal, one that spits you back into daylight with your pulse hammering and your mind reeling. And just when you think you've tasted the island's wildest tale, Aruba hands you a flamingo. 3. Flamingo Island, pink guardians of the shallows. A short boat ride from the mainland lies Renaissance Island, but everyone calls it by its true name, Flamingo Beach. Step off the dock and a neon pink sentries parade past your ankles, unbothered by paparazzi. Here's the kicker. These flamingos are not native. They were rescued from a cramped Curacao zoo in the late 90s and transported here for rehabilitation. The birds never left, genetically imprinted on Aruba's limestone shallows. In essence, they chose this island, an adoption that birthed the most Instagram stretch of sand in the Western Hemisphere. Yet the flamingos aren't just props. Watch their choreography and you'll witness a living barometer. When storms approach, they retreat inland hours before clouds gather. Their instincts tuned like a barometer vivant. Local fishermen study their exodus more than satellite data. Vacation snaps, their side quest. The real currency is knowledge etched in feathers. I stand knee-deep, camera forgotten, as a bird the color of sunset plucks brine shrimp inches from my lens. In that moment, Aruba feels like the planet's last true handshake between wildness and wonder. Then the sun slides west, painting the sky blood orange, and it's time to burrow deeper, this time into the island's bones. 4 Quadirikiri Caves, Aruba's underworld of light and legend. Imagine crawling through a limestone tunnel so dark even your thoughts echo. Suddenly the ceiling collapses into twin skylights and beams of sunlight spear the dust, turning the chamber into a natural planetarium. This is Quadirikiri. The Arawak creation myth says, a chieftain once locked his rebellious daughter inside these caves to stop her forbidden romance. She dug toward the light, carving passageways with her bare hands. When she emerged, legend states, a flash of lightning-fused sandstone into crystal, forever trapping her spirit in glittering walls. Today, you'll see those crystals shimmer like stardust. Run your palm across a wall and you'll also discover charcoal glyphs. Turtles, spirals, figures mid-dance. Carbon dating pegs them at 1,000 years old, yet they feel spray paint fresh. Every drawing reads like an unfinished sentence, daring you to complete it with your own imagination. Oh, and the bats. Thousands of long-tongued fruit bats swirl overhead, each flap a Morse code reminder. You're trespassing in someone else's cathedral. 5. Conchi, the pool that hurricanes carved. High on Aruba's rugged northeast coast, volcanic cliffs guard a secret. A perfectly oval basin nicknamed Conchi, or the natural pool. No roads reach it, only ATVs or hooves brave the boulder-strewn track. When you arrive, Atlantic swells explode against black rock, sending geysers skyward. Yet inside the pool, water lies shock still, clear as blown glass. Scientists call it a tidal trap, lava flow hardened around a sinkhole, and credit millions of years of wave erosion. Locals whisper another story. The pool formed in a single night when the sea goddess Yemaya, furious at sailors who hunted dolphins for sport, smashed the shore with her trident, sealing their fate in stone. Leap off the tallest boulder and you drop through time. Schools of sergeant majors swirl below like confetti. Look up mid-free fall and you'll catch a rainbow arching over the cliffs, framed by sprays of salt so fine they float like diamond dust. There are infinity pools, and then there's Conchi, infinity that decided it didn't need a hotel. 6. Bushiribana, echoes of the gold fever. In 1824, a 12-year-old shepherd found a shimmering vein in these hills, and Aruba's 19th century gold rush exploded overnight. Investors erected the Bushiribana smelter, a fortress-like ruin you can still climb today. Stand on its battlements and close your eyes. You'll almost feel the furnace heat, hear cartwheels grinding quartz, smell acrid smoke belching towards San Nicolas Bay. The operation pulled 3 million pounds of ore before drying up, but the fever never cooled. Even now, treasure hunters scour nearby beaches with metal detectors at dawn, chasing ghost coins they swear the sea spits out after storms. Funny thing, those seekers often leave empty-handed, yet they keep returning. Proof that Aruba's greatest treasure isn't gold but the dream of gold, always one tide away. 7. California Lighthouse in the Dunes of Death. At Aruba's northwestern tip rises a white sentinel, the California Lighthouse, named after the steamship California that wrecked offshore in 1891. Climb its 123 steps, and you gaze upon something few tourists expect. A mini Sahara? The California dunes sprawl like bleached silk, their crests constantly reshaped by relentless trade winds. Locals call them the Dunes of Death because early travelers, fooled by the mirage of the sea beyond, wandered in circles until dehydration claimed them. Today, daredevils sandboard down 90-foot slopes while migrating terns wheel overhead. But linger at twilight and the dunes hum with static. Electrostatic charges that build as sand grains collide. A phenomenon so intense cameras sometimes spark when placed on the ground. Science labels it triboelectrification. I call it the planet whispering in electric tongue. 8 Carnival, when the island wears its heart outside. Forget Rio. Aruba's Carnival isn't a festival, it's a 5-week possession. Paraders spend months sewing costumes that weigh more than suitcases, stitched with sequins bright enough to make the sun squint. The origin? A mashup of Catholic Lent, African harvest rites, and Venezuelan oil worker street socials that bled across the sea in the 1920s. The result is a sensory overload so potent that first-time spectators often cry without knowing why. Follow a troupe called the Douchy Diamonds. Their headpieces tower 6 feet high, each feather trimmed in Swarovski crystals. Mid-procession, they stop, kneel, and on cue, the entire island cuts its music. From the crowd, a grandmother rasps the opening line of an old Tambu hymn. Thousands echo her until the chant swells like surf under a full moon. Then, bang! The drums return and the street detonates in confetti. It's delirium, yes, but it's also therapy. The communal exhale of a people squeezed between desert and deep blue, reminding themselves they're still alive, still together, still too bright to fade. 9. The aloe miracle? Desert medicine turned global phenomenon. Aruba's western interior looks Mars red and barren, until you zoom in on fields of spiky aloe stretching to the horizon. In 1840, a British botanist declared the soil hostile to life. Arubans countered by planting aloe whose roots shrug off drought like minor inconvenience. Today, Aruba exports 6 million pounds of aloe gel annually, and its research labs pioneer skin graft technology for burn victims worldwide. Some call it commerce, elders call it karma. They believe aloe saved the island during the droughts of 1912 and 48, when wells ran dry and villagers chewed the bitter leaves for hydration. Survival tastes awful. They laugh, but it works. Sink your knife into a freshly cut leaf, and the sap resembles liquid emerald. Smear it on a coral scrape, and the sting vanishes. In a world chasing synthetic miracles, Aruba cultivates a reminder that sometimes salvation arrives wrapped in thorns. 10. Midnight at Mangal Halt, the Sea of Stars. South coast near the sleepy village of Savaneta, there's a mangrove labyrinth called Mangal Halto. By day, it's postcard tranquil. By night, on the right moonless evening, the lagoon ignites with bioluminescent plankton. Imagine paddling a clear kayak through inky black water. Every stroke detonates an explosion of sapphire sparks. Fish dart beneath, sketching neon signatures while your own hands glow like wizard spells. It lasts mere seconds before the light dies, but those seconds brand themselves onto memory permanent. Marine biologists blame a dinoflagellate bloom triggered by warm currents. Sailors prefer the folklore, drowned Arawak warriors guiding modern travelers home. Either way, the Sea of Stars reminds you that even the dark parts of Aruba pulse with hidden light, waiting for the curious to disturb the surface. The island that never stops telling stories. We chased echoes through gold rush ruins, traded breath with war wreck guardians, and watched flamingos predict storms better than satellites. We slid down dunes that crackled like thunder, bathed in a pool carved by fury, and paddled through constellations baked into water. And still, Aruba keeps secrets. Maybe it's the cave nobody has mapped, or the song Eagle Beach hums when no one's awake to hear. Maybe it's a coin lying in sand just beyond your next footprint. Or maybe the greatest secret is this simple truth. Aruba isn't an island you visit. It's an island that visits you, hitching a ride in your bloodstream, buzzing in your bones every time you smell salt or hear wind twist through palm leaves. So, adventurers of Fan Society, the map is now yours. Will you book a flight? Or will you close your eyes tonight and let Aruba drift into your dreams, her flamingo pink dawns and electric blue midnights calling you back? Either way, remember, curiosity is the only passport that never expires. I'm your host, signing off. Smash that like button like a hurricane on Conchi's Rocks. Subscribe for the next secret-laden destination, and until we explore again, keep wandering, keep wondering. Because the world, it's wilder than any postcard.